Okay, so today is the day that I review the new Murs album, A Strange Journey into the Unimaginable. Now, this album is solely produced by Michael Seven Summers, the in-house producer of Strange Music. And Murs is also a Strange Music roster member. He's been part of the label since 2013, if I remember correctly. Now, this isn't the first time that Murs has collaborated with a producer to make one giant monster of a message in an album. It's happened 5 times before with Ninth Wonder, and the multiple albums that they've brought out over the years has definitely solidified Ninth Wonder's big Mona Lisa-esque picture that he's made himself to be in the rap game. He's one of the greatest producers outside of Jay Dilla and Black Milk, in my opinion, and there are plenty of other people that have earned their rights and their stripes too, but those are the ones that stick out in my opinion. That's just me. Now, I've been talking about strange music artists a lot in these reviews, but this guy definitely hit me with a huge uppercut this time. He really blew my mind when Captain California came out last year, and that album was very him. It was just something different that he wanted to try, and the music was very upbeat. It was very contemporary and something that I hadn't heard from him before, and I really appreciated and enjoyed this album that had just passed. But this current album is something that he's, to me, never really delved into before, just stylistically and emotionally. There are multiple times that I've come across Murs in my listening time as a hip-hop listener, but he never really captured my full attention until he was signed to Strange Music, which is kind of sad, to be honest, because I really enjoy finding new artists, but I never really felt myself enthralled to go after him specifically. Now, he's been affiliated with a lot of Rhymesayers Entertainment people. He's even part of a duo on Rhymesayers called Felt, which has Slug from Atmosphere in it, and I really don't enjoy Slug's music that much. His delivery's good, it's just that he doesn't really excite me like some other people do. I guess it's just because he's not bombastic and crazy, but he definitely has won me over some other times. But anyway, so this album does not have many features on it. It only has 5 rap features and 4 singer features, if I'm not mistaken. There are a lot of interesting pieces that Murs has covered on this album. He's talked about dealing with divorce and living with your partner in the same house, but not being emotionally connected to them anymore. It's kind of sad, because when you're in the house with somebody and you live with that person, normally you'd want to be with them. And if you've been married to them, normally the commitment of marriage is for life, and we've pretty much thrown that out the window. 1 in every 2 people is divorced now, so it's not really surprising to anybody anymore that someone got divorced. So, but he's definitely gotten back to being involved with somebody. Not that it matters, but it's definitely helped him. Now, he has children, and one of his children is featured on the album, more or less in a skit of the song called Superhero Pool Party. And it's mainly him just throwing a bunch of superhero names out there for a really crazy night that he had, and it was pretty cool. He introduced different Marvel and DC characters, and they were talking about how things were crazy, and Starfire was mentioned quite a few times, and things that she'd done, at least the character that was portrayed as her. But it was very interesting. Now, for the rap features on this album, I have to say, the Same Way song that has Tech N9ne on it, I felt like I felt my heart go back into 2008 when Tech N9ne was on his KOD tip, and he just destroyed it. I know that I talk about Tech N9ne in such a high light and how I highly regard him. That's just how he is. He is an amazing artist, and when he comes through on a feature, he really just comes through and destroys it. You can't not see rubble and destruction from what he's done. If no one knows what I'm talking about, maybe you should try and look into the interlude off of the Carter 4. Probably one of the only reasons why people know about that album in the first place. But that's just me. Anyway, Tech N9ne comes through and does his thing. His harmonization is on key and his anger is immense. It is powerful. Now, big man Prof is on this album. Prof is an amazing Rhymesayers Entertainment artist coming out with an album on April 13th of this year. I cannot wait. It is going to be an amazing album. It is going to be episode 20. It is going to be an extravaganza of amazement. He is none to be messed with. Fun fact about his verse for G Lollipops. He rapped with a mouth guard in his mouth. Not many people can do that. Fashion is also on this, stylized as Fashawn, F-A-S-H-A-W-N. Not many people know or remember who he is, but he was definitely talked about on the freshman covers some year. Can't really remember off the top of my head. He'd definitely proven himself in the time that he was out, but he's been radio silent for a while, to my knowledge. And another person that's been radio silent, frequent collaborator of Michael Seven Summers, XV, is on this album. XV has not put out a single thing on purchasable media since probably 2011 when he released a song with Pusha T, of which I can't remember. But this album definitely has somebody that's resurfaced from the ground. So hopefully he does stuff in the future. You can only hope that artists can bring themselves back from the abyss, for lack of better words. All in all, this album definitely comes through and shows you that you can talk about the different walks of life that you've dealt with and talk about a little fake story that you can make for your kid. Now, I wouldn't recommend cursing in front of your child, but that's just me. One of the coolest outros to date, at least in this year, in a song called God is the Greatest. Now, I was honestly waiting for Murs to do more than just have a very breathy and amazing hook. I was expecting some kind of harmonization and singing on it, but it kept me wanting to listen to the song more. More or less, it's saying with all the adversities and all the pain that he's gone through, he still has a way out. He still feels that God is his crutch, and he can use him to further himself in the time that he has left and the times that he is rough and feeling very down. Now, there's a story that comes into mind that I've heard different renditions of, some comedic, some serious, more or less along the lines of the Lord walking in the sand with a gentleman, and he looks back as his life has ended and sees that there are empty footsteps in certain kinds of times that he dealt with. And along with that, the main moral of the story is that through the times that you felt the most horror and triumph and pain, he was always there with you. And that's exactly what Murs is saying with this song. Throughout all the pain and struggle and strife that he has dealt with through his career and up into now, God has always been with him. God is the greatest. A little bit shorter than the other ones, but I at least wanted to let everyone know how I felt on this album. Not really much detail, but all in all, that's pretty much how I feel. I highly recommend listening to this. I really can't put into words how different this album is from Murs. I can only explain so much without going into a 30-minute clip. So with that being said, my name is Ethan, otherwise known as Two-Face, and this is episode 13 of Claws. We're getting closer to 20 every time. Can't believe it. Tune in on Friday when I release episode 14 on the new XXXTentacion album, ? At least I think that's what it's called. I don't know if it has any kind of name to it because it just came out with that. So I will see everybody then. Listen to the album. There are links in the description. There are links in the description for anyone that doesn't know that. I have to say that probably multiple times so everyone knows. But thank you everybody for watching, and if you're just listening to this, thank you for listening. And if you want to, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And if you see something or hear something that you want me to listen to, please leave a comment below. Let me know. And yeah, I'll see everybody on Friday. Peace.